Good morning, or good afternoon. We are making our packet number 11 video. It is due next week, Tuesday, on May 5th, May 6th. Let's look at our first page. In April, 20% of customers at Auto World bought blue cars. Of those customers, 15% chose gray interiors. What percent of the customers at Auto World did not choose a blue car with a gray interior? So if we look at all of the cars, we know 20% of all their customers chose blue cars. Oops. And of those blue cars, 15% chose the gray interior. So we need to figure out how much that is, and then we want to know how many people did not choose that. So we have to figure out how much that gray is, and then we subtract that from 100%. So we want to know 15% of 20%. What math is that word of? What operation means of? Second? What operation? Division? It is not division. Multiplication. So if you can find 15% of 20%, then you subtract that away from 100%. Okay? And that will tell you how many did not choose blue cars with a gray interior. Next page. We had one like this before. Okay. Tina left her house at 9 a.m. to ride her bike down a very long road at a speed of 12 miles per hour. So Tina leaves at 9 a.m. On this distance, she goes 0 at 9. At 10 a.m., she has gone 12 miles. At 10:30, so at the half hour, her sister leaves and tries to catch up to Tina. She's going at a speed of 20 miles. So her sister at 10:30 has gone 0. But at 11:30, she has gone 20. Well, we need to get them on the same times. So if Tina has left at 10, or sorry, she left at 9 and she goes 12 miles, how far has Tina gone at 10:30? We're not going to add 12 because she's only gone for half an hour more. Add 6. So 12 plus 6 is going to give us that 18. Now that they're both at the half hour, we can work on that, right? So how far has Tina gone at 11:30? Claire?
10.
She's gone 18 at 10:30. How far will she have gone at 11:30? So now we're back to adding that 12. So if we add that 12 to it, we get 30. Okay, so then you're going to see how far they've both gone at 12:30, how far they've both gone at 1:30, and then at some point we need to narrow it down because Vanessa's going to have passed Tina, and so then we need to narrow down to what time she actually passes. So notice it does say at what time, so I do need a time listed, not the distance they've gone. But you're gonna have to break them down into that half hours, into the 15 minutes. So break it down like we did with that page in the other math packet when we had something similar. Then we have our 5-card challenge. Remember that with the 5-card challenge, when we have an ace, we are not playing blackjack. Aces are only worth 1. In blackjack, the ace could be 1 or 11. Not in the 5-card challenge, only worth 1 point. There's 1 heart on there, it's worth 1. Okay, so people have been getting high numbers of their 5-card challenge points, multiplying by 1, dividing by 1. Because if we had 6 times 4 is 24, we could do 6 times 4 times 1, it's still 24. Different equation, one's worth 2 points, one's worth 3 points, equals the same thing. 4 to the first power is 4. Okay, use what we know about our math number sense, those exponents, multiplying, dividing. Use those to see how many points we can get. Somebody asked me how many points has 6th grade gotten. Well, for 6th grade, the highest point range has been 150 points. Going up to 8th grade, it's been over 1,000 points.
Oh my God.
Using what you know about number sense. Okay? When you get ones in there, you can use that information. Okay? Next page. Pattern page. We have filling in our blues and our greens and our totals. We have to complete the whole table. The first 4 we can fill in easy. 1 green, 8 blue, 9 total. 5 green, 16 blue, 21 total. 9 green, 24 blue, 33 total. 13 green, 32 blue, 45 total. For the green, it's easy. What is our rule? We're increasing it by the same amount each time. Fill in your greens. For our blues, I have 8, 16, 24, 32. What am I skipping by? Say it louder, LJ. By the 8s. 8 times 1 is 8. 8 times 2 is 16. 8 times 3 is 24. 8 times 4 is 32. Follow that pattern for your blues. Add them together and get your total blocks. So thankfully we have an easier one for our packet 11. All right. Areas. Remember to find the area of the figure. That is the full big square. Finding that area is the length times the width. So you have to add the 2 numbers on each side together and then multiply them. Length times width. Then area of the shaded. I have seen multiple different ways on how to find that area. But we know if we break up that white diamond, we can see we have squares, right? So there are 4 sections, and we get half of that square. So we know this square would be length times width, so that's 36, but we only want half of it, right? So divide it by 2. Do that 4 times and add it together for your shaded area. That's one way. I've seen other ways of people doing it. Some people could say, oh, there's 4 squares, but I only want half of each square, so really I only want 2 squares. So I can figure out how much is 1 square, how much is another square, add that together. There's, like I said, numerous ways I've seen people figure out that shaded area. Next page. Oh, some of us have forgotten to draw our nets on the next page. So remember, all classes draw a net of the figure and label its sides. So you need to draw that rectangular prism opened up. You need to label their sides. This side you need to put in that x equals 3. Beckett, can you close your device, please? Label all the sides of your net. Then we need to find the surface area and the volume. So over here I should see 2 answers. Label surface area and volume. To find the surface area, you need to find the area of each of those sides, add them together. To find the volume, remember volume is length times width times height. So your length times your width times your height. Next page is our volume page. Mr. Schultz gave us some numbers of some of the sides. Make sure you have the correct formulas written in. So for the rectangular prism, it is length times width times height. For the cube, length times width times height, but remember each of those is going to be the same number that we are multiplying together. Triangular prism is 1/2 length times width times height. Pyramid is 1/3 length times width times height. Cylinder is pi r squared times height. The cone is pi r squared times the height divided by 3. And our sphere is 4/3 pi r cubed. So make sure you're using correct formulas. Some of us have accidentally written down our formulas wrong, so we're getting our answers wrong. Make sure you have correct formulas. Pre-algebra has to do at least 3. You can do more. Should we just ask a buddy, hey, what'd you get for this one? Why not, Michael? Because then you don't learn. Not about just getting it done and turned in and getting points. It's about the learning. Are we going to see volume on the math test? Probably. We need to remember how to work with it. Okay? If you're just copying from a friend's paper, you are not learning it. The reason we do packets is to help us learn and review things that are going to be coming up that we're not covering in that unit in our binders. So don't just copy, learn it. Next page is filling in the numbers, making sure columns and rows don't repeat any numbers, filling in the 1s, 2s, 3s, and 4s. We've done pages like this before, so just fill in those in. Next page, create a graph that represents the data shown in the table. Remember, when we make a graph, we need to label. It says use correct labeling. So you have your graph, you've got your numbers going up your y-axis, you've got your words going across the x-axis. What are those words? What are those numbers? Label it. And then there is a question for pre-algebra. How many total snacks were sold? And our last page is that polyomino page. We know how to do those. No flipping or rotating. They need to be just slid over into place and make them fit. Come on. Oh, I don't have it. It did not copy that page, but that's okay. We know how to do that page. Well, I'm not going to ask it. If you have questions, you'll come see me. That is it for our video. So again, come see me if you have any remaining questions. Have a wonderful day.